Hi, everybody. For those who don't know, Neopets is this website where you have like a virtual pet and you like take care of it, but I mean, they don't die. They used to die at like the first year, like year 1. We're currently in year like 25? 26 probably. So what do people know about Neopets first off? Everyone knows like the Scientology thing. I'm not gonna get into that. Who give a shit? The other things people know about Neopets. The omelets! Whoa! The omelets! Whoa! Yeah, that's... People have a lot of nostalgia for Neopets, and it's understandable because it was like the site that, you know, kids went to. Like, you know, hang out, click on things, play flash games. It was that thing that like kids like talked to each other about on the playground. We're like, oh my god, I got the Neopet! It's a virtual little guy on my computer. I feel like the peak of childhood Neopets was around 2007-ish. That's what's like usually agreed upon as like, you know, the height of like popularity. And it went downhill slowly, and then it had a little bit of a resurgence around the pandemic, and then it's been kind of like going back down, honestly. And like, there's a lot of shit to the site. There's so much lore, there's so much to dig into. Because it's been around for like 26 years or so, right? It's crazy. A lot of history is here. And I'm not actually all that familiar with a whole bunch of it, because the stuff that I do is I just get onto the site, I do my dailies, I just like play around with the plot. I don't interact with people on Neopets. I interact with people outside of Neopets and bring them into Neopets and go, oh my god, take a look, it's Food Club, woo, you can do your fucking DraftKings stupid bets on Food Club on Neopets.com and not have to worry about losing all your dollary dues, you know? I like Neopets. I do understand that's a little bit fueled by nostalgia, but however, still a good game. There's still a lot to enjoy with it. It's not, like, unique by, like, today's standards, but it was unique at the time. And because it was, like, that trendsetter, so a lot of people really appreciate the site for, you know, giving them their childhood and all that jazz. So people probably recognize, like, oh wow, I know Shoryus, they're the dragon guys, they don't have thumbs, isn't that crazy? Meanwhile, I'm over here, who has already, like, gone through, like, the 5 stages of grief about everything about Neopets, going like, yeah, I know, isn't it crazy? I want to say the current state of Neopets, there's a plot going on Neopets, but oh, what could that be? Oh, what could that be? Oh my god! Oh my god! Whoa! So that's like the current plot. For those who don't know, Neopets has a lot of like little side events and plots that usually take like about a year or so. It's okay. I'm not here to complain about the Void Within plot. However, there is a lot of glaring issues where the attack on Altador, the newest game on Neopets.com, guys! Oh my god! We've had 20 years to perfect the games on Neopets.com! What could this game be? Oh, what sort of magnificence could it be, guys? This is 100% the actual game speed, by the way. This fucking sucks. Do I have to explain why? We can just see it with our eyeballs, right, folks? 100% sucks-a-roni. I bring this up to show you the state of Neopets at the current moment, where Neopets seems to be focusing more on trying to get a little bit more money out of the, you know, long, like, fans and stuff of the, you know, the website. People who really love the site have been here for, like, since day one, and they just want to get a little bit more money out of all of us, while putting out, you know, shit like this. So, the first thing you see when you go to the Void Within is this bullshit. Chapter meter energy booster. This kind of encapsulates, like, all of the problems I have with, like, Neopets right now. It's about this, you know? It's this. oh my god, you got to boost your powers with the NC Mall, which is the paid real world currency of the game. You have to pay real world currency in order to get NC, which is like Neo Cash instead of like Neopoints. Go get the Neo Cash, you can get the more in the chapter! Now, Neopets is not pay to win. However, it has frequently started to become pay to get faster, pay to get more access to things. The NC Mall stuff, it used to be just for like customization, for like a little cute little customization stuff, which it's its whole thing. It's a whole other thing. Right now, they've been really pushing NC Mall stuff. And that's kind of really disappointing, right? They're like, oh, we got them back! We got them back! Ooh! Let's push the fucking money stuff! And it's just, like, really annoying. I think people love the site too much for it to completely die and all that jazz. It's more of, a ghost town. People are there, but its peak has long passed. Most of the money for Neopets.com comes from people wanting to customize their Neopets with like cute little things from the NC Mall, and I'm like, yeah, that's not my whole big deal. I don't really care too much about that. I'm just here to like, you know, just play around, you know, get my little guys, go, oh look, I'm training them, woohoo, let's beat up the guy, let's get some more money and stuff. And I really like doing the creative contest stuff. I really do. The creative contests are a lot of fun for me. I go, oh, check it out. I've made something really cool. And then like the judge goes, whoa, you did make something really cool. And like, I don't know, gives me a code stone for it. Jesus Christ, only on wave 2. How long has it been? I'm getting out of here. We don't need to talk about this shit. Good fucking gravy. For a little bit more context, I have been on the site for about 20 years, I want to say. It's been a major part of my life, my entire childhood. I love Neopets, like, I don't know, just like the creative aspects of it, where you could just make a story, right? Hi, BB. You could just make characters and make pets and like adopt cool pets and get inspired, and you could go enter in the beauty contest and like show off your cute little arts and stuff. That's where I really thrived on Neopets.com. Well, thrive in the present tense as well, because I'm still playing it, right? I despite its like flaws, I still really like the site because it's my little guys! There's my little guys on there! And I'm not gonna show you any of them because I'm not about to, like, dox my Neopets account. Nobody gets to know what my Neopets is. Nobody. But I like making characters, I like making, like, art, I like doing a little bit of writing, I like making the little cute little websites, the little guys, and, like, entering beauty contests and stuff. That's what Neopets is to me. It's this beautiful place where we can get together and do creative things. And so, the creative contests are, like, really important to me. I really enjoy them. I haven't entered into a lot of them recently, because, you know, I don't need anything. I've already gotten everything I want on Neopets.com. I don't need anything, but it is still fun to win sometimes, so, you know, maybe I'll enter into the art gallery some other day. I think there is an inflation issue. I have seen a strange increase in prices. Normally the prices have been, like, pretty stable on Neopets.com, right? But it's the really expensive stuff that has gone up in price by a fuck ton. So if you notice the title of my stream and or video, depending on when you're watching this, it's gonna say 1 billion Neopoints, and you may be balking at that and going, no, that can't be right. No, unfortunately, that is right. Billion's not a mistake there. I thought my title was gonna be 90 million Neopoint mistake. Turns out the item that I'm gonna be talking about today is about 1 billion! About 1 billion Neopoints for various reasons! I can't speak too much on why the inflation has gotten that bad for the expensive items. But I can guess that possibly maybe people have been like accruing old accounts and botting Food Club and like amassing wealth that way, possibly. I have speculation on these things, but I can't confirm any of this. thing I wanted to talk about today is the storytelling competition. For those who don't know, there's a lot of creative contests on Neopets.com. This is basically like the creative side of Neopets. People on the site making user-made content and going, okay, I like the site, I like the Neopets, I like making things for it. Can I be rewarded with in-game currency for my creative works? Not just in-game currency, but like trophies. Trophies are huge on the site. People love to collect trophies. It's like a badge of honor. The thing that you need to understand about the Neopets group, like just like the culture, is people love to collect on Neopets. There's so many like galleries. There's avatars. There's just Neopets in general. There's just items that you can collect. There's collectible cards. There's stamps. There's charms. There's so many things that you can collect on Neopets, including like the trophies too. People just love to collect on Neopets. You have to understand this. This is huge for people. Because for a culture that's been developing over 20 years, these are, badges of honor. These are things that people show off and go, I'm better than you because I have this thing and this thing. And sure, it's like an unspoken sort of thing. No one's like literally going, I'm better than you. No one's literally doing this. However, they are showing off their fancy avatars and fancy Neopets to each other on the Neo boards. Today we're going to be talking about the storytelling contest. You start out with a prompt, basically, a little starter paragraph. This is the first story all the way back November 24th, year 2000. A little starter where, get the ball rolling and stuff. It used to be done by the Neopet staff, but nowadays it's done by somebody entering in a starter at the end of a previous story and goes, hey, this could be a great starter for another one. And they, TNT chooses their favorite and goes with it. Usually it's to the theme of what the latest fun little pet thing of the day, it's Irie Day, let's do an Irie story kind of thing. Basically, this is what a storytelling competition is. You just keep adding on to it. You just go, oh, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. You get it. You're talking around the campfire and making up a story as you go on. It's a funny little game where you're like, oh, and then this happened, and then you find another character, and then there's a villain, and then you fight the villain, and you kill the villain, oh, and all that stuff. You don't actually kill anybody because it's Neopets.com, and it's even in its olden era of being this elderly website, nobody's allowed to die. This has been going on for 25 years. The storytelling competition usually has, I want to say 50 a year because it's once a week. It used to be once a week. 4 years ago, it used to be a once a week sort of thing, one story a week. So you'd have 5 entries a week, right? 5 entries, 5 chances to get the storytelling competition trophy and the cute little item from it. Well, if you had a starter, if you were the one entering a starter, if it was if it was the staff entering the starter, you had 4 chances to win. 4 fucking chances to win. A week. To put that in context, other creative storytelling stuff, not storytelling, other creative site stuff on the site give you a bunch of different chances to win. For instance, the art gallery, I want to say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, it's it's 12 entries and there's usually 2 pages, so 24 entries, and it's usually twice a week that we have an art gallery. So 48 chances to win a item from the same pool as the items that are found in the storytelling competition. 48 compared to 4. Do you understand? Do you understand how vicious this thing is? Right off the bat. Lo and behold, it has been 25 years. You've got 50 a year for the first 900, and then 25 or so a year for the next 100. And every centennial storytelling competition has a special item. It's called the Storyteller. It's this collectible card on the site which is exclusive to the storytelling competition and only shows up every centennial story. So every 100 stories, you get the chance to possibly win this card, which is a very rare item, which I've told you that Neopets people fucking love to collect. So, competition's fucking tough, right? Just already, it's fucking tough. Because it's been 4 years since there's been new ones on the site. And there's only so many of them. For instance, for story number 900, it only went for 2 weeks. And so only 10 of them were created and released to the public during that time. Except people weren't really selling it that much. It's a rare item. People don't really see it on like the trading posts and such, and auctions. And because people just, you know, have already gotten it. People who've already wanting it have already gotten it and all that jazz. And nobody has like 90 million Neopoints just laying around to buy it, except for the super duper duper fucking rich. The most expensive item on the site is the Super Attack P, which is the strongest Baldome item on the site. It does like a fuck ton of damage. That one is, I want to say, 5 billion Neopoints at the current moment. In all of my time playing Neopets.com, I have gone nowhere close to that amount. Granted, I've only played like off and on and stuff, but do you understand? 5 billion Neopoints is a lot. What would you even buy with that? You don't need anything. You could just like buy like all the stamps. The stamps that are like super expensive are about like 100 million. I mean, there's some that are like about 1 billion or something because, I don't know, inflation at this point, they used to be 100 million. I remember when all these like really expensive stamps were 100 million Neopoints. And that seems reasonable compared to today's market when it's 10 times as much. I don't know what happened. Regardless, currently the Storyteller collectible card is sitting at 1.5 billion Neopoints. Now, I don't believe that, you know? It's been 90 million Neopoints for, you know, the majority of its time on the site. That's why I say 1 billion, because I don't think it's 1.5 billion worth right now. But I don't actually disagree with the fact that it might be 1 billion Neopoints worth because of all the inflation that's been going on. In comparison to the other stuff on the site, it needs to like stay in like that same like range of rarity and like want, supply and demand and such. And because all the things around it are about 1 billion, but like things that are like of equivalent want on the site, yeah, I gotta agree. I think the Storyteller is 1 billion Neopoint item at the time, at the current moment. So, it's been 25 years. It's been 4 years since the previous centennial storytelling competition, which was story number 900. So what is gonna happen now? What should happen? If not story number 1000! Folks, for the past 3 weeks, I have been trying to win story number 1000! That is what has been going on. That is the meat of the video. This is what I am here to complain about. Story number 1000. Sorry, I'm cursing on the fucking Neopets video. Story number 1000. It has been 25 years! This site could, like, I don't know, rent a car at this point. It's old as balls! 1000 stories! And again, only one person winning a day. The starter that gets chosen is somebody else's, and it's of an appropriate starter. Because what we've got here is the Storyteller, collectible card character, who is canonically the person who starts all the stories and like manages the stories in universe of the storytelling competition. We like the Storyteller. She's a neat little character. She cares about stories a whole bunch. So having her be the, main character of Story 1000 is really appropriate. She was also the main character in story number 900, along with Allstaff, the Poetry Poogle. Just a cute little, trivia. If you wanted to know some Neopets trivia other than like, oh my god, did you know the omelet? You could tell them about, the storytelling competition. Whoa! There's like rumblings of like dark clouds on the horizon, as people also realize that this author right here, this person, has gotten a new avatar because of story number 1000. And now everyone's like, wait, what? There's a new avatar for story number 1000? Are we gonna get another one? Are we all gonna have the chance to be able to get this storytelling avatar? It's chum in the water, folks. Immediate chum in the water. The sharks are swarming on this. Because one of the things that people love to collect on this site is avatars. It's a huge thing for people. People love to collect avatars. They want to have the newest avatar. They want to make sure that they're up to date on all the avatars. There's competitions for who has the most avatars. It's intense. Everyone wants in on this. And again, like I told you, there's only one winner a day. We have 3 weeks for this one. That's 15 winners. We don't know if we're gonna get another chance to get this avatar. So everyone wants to get on the storytelling competition. Not only is it story number 1000, which is fantastic. Everyone wants to get involved with the story number 1000, right? People want to contribute to that. It's a big number, a big special number. We're humans, we see the big round number and go, ooh, we want to do that. People also want to get in on it because of the storyteller collectible card, which is worth like 1 billion Neopoints, and it's not an exaggeration. So the deck is already stacked against us. Immediately, right? Against me, stacked against me in particular, because I don't really care for avatars. But everyone wants to win. And it's bad. This is the story that we end up telling. I won't go through the entire story. I won't read it for you guys. But I will give you a good overview of it. What we've got is, we're starting out, the storyteller's going, oh my gosh, I'm having a normal day. And then, oh my gosh, there's a knock on my door? Whoa. And that's like how these stories end up going. Stuff is going on there. It's like the beginning of a storytelling continuation usually like ties into what the previous one said. It was like, oh my god, there was a rumbling noise, and then the next one will explain what the rumbling noise is, and then they'll explain some other stuff, and then they'll leave on a cliffhanger that the other one is going to continue in on. So there's a knock on the door, and who could it be but a Psy Bunny? Whoa, it's a bunny. And they're like, oh, here's this note. And they're like, oh my god, this mysterious note, what could be inside of it? The storyteller, the 1000's tale cannot be told. Ooh, mysterious things are happening already. And then continuation, what is the mysterious thing that's happening? Well, if it's told, chaos will overtake Rue Island and even Neopia. Oh my god! Don't do it! Don't tell the story! And then, she's gotta go to Rue Castle to, figure out what the hell's going on. And then outside, Allstaff! Woohoo! We all love Allstaff! Allstaff, the Poetry Poogle, the storyteller's best friend. Woohoo! He's here! And he's getting chased by an oil that he summoned with, his poetry! Oh my god! Stories are coming to life! Whoa! That's crazy! It goes on like this for a little bit. It's the Drakes from Drake Day. Whoa! Stories coming to life. They go to the castle and such. Then this happens. A red loop stepped out from the shadows. It is I, Zeus. She racked her brain for a moment. Zeus from the very first story. Are we good? Are we okay? I mean, okay, sure, okay, we're doing the first story. Okay, we're doing the first story. Let's take a look at the first story. I'm going, okay, well, my other continuations aren't working. All right, let's see, what's going on here? Let me read up on the first story and see what sort of lore I can pull from it. Okay. Oh, okay, this is just big blocks of text. And it's... Is that Vmon? Did that say Vmon? Vmon? That can't be right. That can't be right. What? Yeah, this is from year 2000. Of course they're gonna have, like, kid stuff in there. And then there's a spider, and then there's what? Wait, what is going on? They gotta go back to her dear owner, but there's so many characters. And there's a spider that was big and he's trying to eat them. And they gotta, like, go to, like, the thing, and then they get into a car, and they drive away into the sunset? What? What? It's a story made by 12-year-olds, I gotta say. Oh no, there's a guy called Dr. Frankenpet, and we gotta get out of his scary basement with all of his experiments. And then everything went black, and then we gotta get out of here. Whoa, it's alright. I'm not gonna make fun of, like, a 12-year-old's first story, especially when with, like, all these cooks in the kitchen going absolutely buck wild with all the ingredients being let loose and just chewing on all the raw spaghetti. It's just... We're bringing in the first story? Like, okay, yeah, alright, it's a centennial, it's the 1000th story. Alright, fine, we can bring in the first story. That's fine. We could, bring in a whole bunch of different characters from different stories. That'd be cool, that'd be great. We must go to where it all began, my home, the very first story. Also, Zeus doesn't speak like this in the first story. I just keep thinking about this phrase. It is I, Zeus. What? I'm already a little bit baffled, right? A little bit losing it. But I'm trugging. I'm going with it. I'm alright, we can work with this. I go, oh man, wouldn't you be crazy? They go into the mysterious world of the book world. Whoa, the world of story. And they have to find out what's going on in the world of story. What happens instead is, oh no, they gotta go back to their place and they walk there. We gotta go find the spider. He's an ancient old guy. And yeah, that's like mentioned in like story number 1 where he's like 400 something years old. It's like one of those things like a 12-year-old goes, oh my god, you know what'd be crazy? What if the number of how age he was like 400 and 500 to 67 years old? Isn't that crazy? Whoa, big number! Bless their little souls, but they have poisoned me. They go to his house in Neopia, which is where we are right now, by the way. This is Neopia. Zeus is from a story. Okay, first off, I know that Neopets is fictional, alright? But within this fictional world of the storytelling competition, the storyteller tells stories within the world of Neopia. The stories aren't canon. They're characters telling stories. They're for fictional people telling fictional stories. What do you mean we go to the fucking, like, story fictional place that's in the real world of Neopia? What are we doing here? What are we talking about? What are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you fucking mean? They go to the guy's house. They go to the fucking Zeus's house. And they go, oh my god. Whoa, there's more riddles from the spider. Oh my god, we have to, like, go find where he is, and there's like a glowing door, and they go into like a story sort of place. And I'm like, okay, good, fine, we're in a story place. We're in a cool story. Okay. I think this is the one that I didn't know what to say, so throughout the 3 weeks, I entered in as much as I could, except for this one, and then like one other one, because we'll get to that. Oh my god, someone is watching us, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. Who could be watching them? I don't know, Jesus. Neopets Jesus? Who's Neopets Jesus? I don't know. Maybe King Altador. And then they're like, oh my god, it's Steven from the first story too, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. We're going full in on the first story? Is Veemon gonna show up? Veemon! Veemon from Digimon! Is Veemon gonna show up in the 1000th story? Are they gonna get sued by fucking Konami? I don't know, who owns Digimon? Konami? Capcom? Capcom doesn't own Digimon, what am I talking about? Toei! Toei, yeah, Toei has Digimon. Is Toei gonna sue them? They're not going to, but you know, you get the idea. Why are we bringing in more stuff from story number 1? Story number 1 was written by 12-year-olds. It was just like, okay, what if we did more fantastical things? Like, oh, there's the rips and tears in the story world, we gotta solve them. Or, oh my god, we could like incorporate different characters from all over the storytelling competition that have been entered in throughout the many years of the storied history of the storytelling competition. Why are we focusing on story number 1? I'm gonna lose it. And yet, the story continues. This one I feel really fucking angry at. In my own special way, because I had one that was really close to this one, but it wasn't chosen. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, why not me? It's luck at that point, and I'm not angry at anyone who's won this competition. No. But it could have been me! It could have been me! And then, like, they get chased by Joshua, which is another character from Story 1. They're like, oh god, we're gonna get chased by the guy, oh no. And then, like, the spider is there, and the spider's like, oh, we gotta go inside this hole inside Dr. Frankenpet's lair. And they're like, oh my god, Dr. Frankenpet is making authors from throughout Neopia write his dark stories. And we're like, whoa, oh my god, the dark stories, oh no! He wants to take over Neopia! And it's like, oh my god, we gotta stop him! What if it's a trap? And then it's not, and they go into the scary place. They go into the scary place, and then it's like, oh no, we gotta somehow get this door open. So the storyteller goes, oh, I know, I could like write, and then like use my powers to open the door and stuff. And they're like, yeah, of course, yes, of course the storyteller has powers within the storytelling world. Whoa, that's crazy. I mean, there's all this setup, right? There's all this cool setup, right? All this fantastical story stuff, right? And then what is to happen? Veemon fucking shows up. What? We're still in story 1, number 1? We're still talking about story 1. We're still bringing in everything from story 1. Why is this happening? What do you mean? What do you mean we're bringing in Veemon? Oh, we gotta get the whole crew in here. We gotta get the whole fucking crew in here. And it's like, oh my god, no, you can't touch this strange object. What is it? Oh, it's a magical special book that's drawing the storyteller in. It's got like that same sort of like decoration as that mysterious scroll that she got at the beginning. Oh, we brought something back. That's a good thing. I like that. Good, great. And it's like, oh, it's Sarah. Sarah is the key. Sarah's the main character in story 1. Sarah is the key to all of this. Oh, Jesus Christ. And then they're like, oh no, there's a great crashing sound behind them. And then, oh, Dr. Frankenpet's jars have a whole bunch of like story characters in them. But like, they're not interacting with each other. And it's just like, okay, cool. So we just gotta like figure out what's going on. Oh my god, Sarah's gone from the storytelling magic book thing that they found. Oh, she's gone from the story. Oh no, we gotta figure out how she's like, how we can get her back. Oh, she's in our memories. We could bring her back by like just remembering her. And then the storyteller's like writing the story and stuff once more because she remembers the story. And like all the characters from story 1 are disappearing, going, okay, bye. And then Allstaff's like, I gotta get more of these characters out of these jars. And then they get them out of the jars, and the characters are like meeting each other, and they're going, oh wow, isn't that crazy? We're story characters, isn't that crazy? And then they get out of the place, and they're like, oh, Sarah was the key to all of this. Yippee! Sarah was the whole thing. We had to remember our first story, our first grand story. Woohoo! It's the first story, the greatest story ever told. Christmas, woohoo! And so the story ends where they go back to the storytelling competition. They're like, all right, time to tell the next story, guys. Isn't that great? And then the characters from story 1 show up to go, oh, let's all tell. I wonder what happens next in the next story. I wonder what will happen. Can you tell how disappointed I am just by the way I'm describing this? Like, no fucking beef to the people who won, alright? They did their best, everyone's doing their best. And the judge, there's one one person in charge of all of the creative stuff on the site. One person who decides what, like, poetry gets put on the site, what the art on the site is, what the Neopoint Times has, what the storytelling competition has, is all controlled by one fucking probably underpaid worker. And I don't blame them either. Here's what I think happened. Let's dissect this a little bit. This story had a pretty okay ending, had an okay start, but a weird middle. Can we all agree to this? I think what happened here is the poor judge, TNT Adler. I don't know how to pronounce this stuff. It's all text. No one says any of this shit out loud. If Zafar or Zafra, who knows? Who fucking knows? Poor Adler has to deal with so much, right? They're probably, like, waking up, going, okay, time to go through all the bullshit that people are entering in. Gotta make sure that it's not AI generated as well, because that's a thing. It's modern day. It's 2025, baby! Oh, we got fucking bullshit off the wazoo! Isn't that great? So, they've got a lot of work on their hands. And if I was in that position, what I would be doing is I would look at, like, the first couple of entries and go, okay, we're gonna cut it off here. I've got a bunch of entries already. I'm going to choose my favorite of the entries that are here in this submitted amount and such. I'm gonna give it, like, I don't know, 20. Probably more like 10. 10 entries that are of good enough length, that look like they have a complete story. I read the beginning, I read the end, and I go, okay, alright, so this is going through an interesting direction. I'll read the middle in my own time of these 10 entries or so that I've chosen. But it depends on how many entries are entered in. And that depends on when these, like, continuations are put onto the site. Because I'm guessing, like, Adler's probably choosing one of these entries and then, like, holding on to it and then entering it in, like, at, like, I want to say 10 a.m. for me, which would be, like, 8 a.m. for Neopets.com-ish. It depends, you know? Depends if they're feeling alright. And Adler apparently was feeling sick one of these days during the week, which doesn't bode well. Because if someone's sick during one day, they're actually sick for multiple days. They're not just sick for one day, guys. They're probably not feeling super well. So they're probably, like, really stressed, going, oh my god, it's story number 1000, we gotta make this good, but I'm fucking tired, I'm overworked, I'm underpaid. I actually don't know if they're underpaid. I'm just assuming it's fucking Trump's America. Everyone's got $0 and 0 cents. More than one sense of that word, fuck. They're, like, choosing, like, I don't know, one of these 10 and going, okay, we're just gonna move on from here. But there's, like, an arbitrary cutoff time that no one knows about, right? From what I understand from talking to people who have won the storytelling competition multiple times, is that they are, like, most likely to win if they enter in their entries really early. That's, like, my first mistake. I have made several mistakes during this storytelling competition. Number one was the fact that I was not entering my shit in early. And I figured that out later on, but early on, I was sending in my entries at, like, 4 a.m. So, that's not good. Everything was already chosen by that time. I don't think somebody with, like, no investment won this because of how fucking vicious this competition was. I've been trolling the boards afterwards, and I have, like, seen a lot of people talk about this and go, oh yeah, pretty much, like, everyone of these people, all these authors have shown up in, like, the Neo boards talking about the storytelling competition number 1000. For another reason that I'll get into. When do they do murder mystery stories? Pretty much never. It's because that's a big issue with the storytelling competition in general. there's not a lot of cohesion with this. I went through a very, like, brief overview about story number 1000, right? There wasn't a lot of, like, collaboration, there wasn't a lot of, like, you know, weaving in stuff from other people's stuff, because it's a thing that's, like, just a bunch of cooks in the kitchen. The analogy that I like to describe this as is, imagine if you had to make a full course meal, but you're being given something, like, from somebody else who's, like, just starting it out. And just like, alright, we've got on here. We've got roasted carrots, we've got Jello, we've got fucking salad. We got, like, a meat with, like, some weird spices on it I don't understand. I guess what I'm gonna add here is some fucking potatoes. I don't know. It's something bland and goes with a lot of things. No. I guess it'll work to help make this a full course meal, but fuck, man. I wanted to do something unique. I wanted to bring something special to this. But that's not really how this works. The things that win in the storytelling competition are things that add on to the story while also keeping to the theme of the story that has been established in the other parts of the story, while also not going off the rails too much. Is generally what's been winning the storytelling competition. Though we have to focus in on the fact that it is one person deciding where the story is going. It's not that the community is deciding where the story is going. It's one person going, okay, of these stories that I have been given, which is the one that interests me the most? And this is the story that they came up with using the entries that the community has given them. So this was a conscious decision on the judge's part to make the story about story number 1. And solely about story number 1. For some fucking reason. That's probably the most bizarre decision I could think of for, like, this entire thing. I don't know why there was a fixation on story number 1 of all things. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. With all these cooks in the kitchen, what you end up with is something kind of bland and boring and disconnected from each other. So if you're looking for, like, a really good story or anything like that, I'd say, you know, look elsewhere in the storytelling competition. Because what ends up, like, winning is stuff that's just... that works. It's not crazy, it's not out there, it's not, like, going off the fucking rails, but it's grounded, makes sense, and just follows the fucking prompt, man. That's my second mistake, alright? I did a lot of entries that were pretty flowery, in my opinion. I had a lot of fun, doing some fun stuff. I had a lot of fun making my cute little stories and doing all this fun stuff where, like, crazy things happened. Oh, the magic and stuff. Things that I added to the story were things like, oh my god, oh, the stories are coming to life! Oh, storyteller, we have to get out of there! We have to figure out what's going on! We have to go to the deep catacombs, which is a canonical place in Neopia, which is where, like, story number 900 kind of took place. And I was like, oh, we could, like, weave in some stuff about that. That could be interesting. So I'm, like, trying to, like, do, like, more fantastical stories. Like, they're like, oh no, the story can't be told. Oh, because, I don't know, the stories will come to life and it'll be bad. Scary stuff and all this stuff. And yeah, that is kind of where the story ended up going towards, because I feel like a lot of people, you know, when they're thinking about cute little story ideas about, like, story number 1000, they're like, oh, you know, it'd be fun stories coming to life. That's like a great trope that everyone like honed in on and was like, that's perfect, that's great, let's work with that. I was like, oh, and then this terrible creature from the Tarask from NeoQuest 2 came out and was like, grr, I'm going to destroy you, because someone was writing a fan fiction about that creature. And then Storyteller was like, I must summon a sword, but she couldn't just summon any sword, she had to summon a special sword. And like I was like, what is the special sword that they were gonna summon? ... And like the next person was gonna like do something with that, but again, that wasn't chosen to be the next one because I think it was a little bit too fantastical. But you get the idea. I'm trying to incorporate like, you know, more adventure-y, like fantasy sort of elements instead of like, we're just gonna go to the next place and it is I, Zeus. I'm gonna be hearing it is I, Zeus in my head for eternity. Because that's the part that really fucking broke me. It is I, Zeus, from the first story! Folks, it's me, Zeus, from the first story, you remember me? Nobody fucking know. That was 25 years ago. Those people who wrote that are like adults with 12-year-olds now. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my god. And also, due to the fact that this is like a 3-part, like 15-part story, there's like, you know, a natural like progression that I think the judge is looking for, and adding too much like magical solving items in the middle is like not gonna work. If that's like personal preference for the fucking judge though, right? Zeus is a red loop. I should be clear. I haven't clarified this. Zeus is not Zeus the god from like Greek mythology. Zeus is a Neopet. Is a red loop. Wait, have you guys been thinking it's Zeus from Greek mythology this whole time? Guys, no! It's a fucking Neopet! We're on Neopets! The entire time I think it is a Greek god Zeus. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. No. It was just a character named Zeus. And the character named Vemon is a blue Kachik, which admittedly does look like a Vemon. But no, it's not literally Zeus and it's not literally Vemon. These are Neopets named after these, like, characters and stuff from other fictional things. This is the one where Alder was sick, I believe. I think this is the one that Alder was sick at, and there were 2 chosen in one day. 2 of them. Fucking 2. So what happens during that is the first one will be entered in, and it'll be shown on the site. And the second one, it's just pretty much right after that. Whoever's getting in first, that whatever fucking works first, they just get chosen. Because Alder was sick one day and didn't update the storytelling competition for one of the days. So doubled up. Which fucking sucks because, you know, I was asleep. I was fucking asleep during that time. This is the one where I sent in a whole fuck ton. This is like the one that was like over the fucking weekend. And I sent in like 6. I sent in 6 fucking entries for this one with different endings, different things going on with it. They go up to the ceiling and Joshua runs over to the other side and they miss them. And they see like, depending on what entry it was, they saw like other authors that were like writing the dark stories or like other characters from other stories. None of them are chosen. So they see the great crashing sound behind them, and I do some fun stuff where it's like, okay, what if we did something with Dr. Frankenpet? The character from the first story. I can't believe I have to say that out loud. Dr. Frankenpet! And no, none of those are chosen. I did do a really funny one where Dr. Frankenpet was like, I have been trying to find out what this mechanical beast is. I have been racking my brain for so long, but I am merely a character in the story, so I cannot tell what this is. You storyteller, you know what this is. I need to know, what is a car? It didn't get chosen. Anyways, moving on. What I'm most disappointed in is the finale. The finale's alright. The finale's actually quite grounded. It's okay. The conclusion does wrap everything up, and it's nice. It's kind of like, why are the story characters outside the story? I had a great fucking conclusion, man. I had a great ending, but it was too fantastical. I get the feeling that it wasn't chosen because it was too fantastical, or I just wasn't fast enough. You have to understand, what happened here, I've been, like, stressing about this. This is the final, like, entry. This is the final one. I have no other chances to win. I want to win so bad that I have stress dreams about the fucking Neopets storytelling competition. Ugh. And so, I keep waking up every hour to check to see if the storytelling competition has updated, so that I can, like, not even without an alarm, guys. I've been waking up every hour. I go to bed, and I've been waking up every single hour after that, and just seeing if they've updated. I've gotta win. I've gotta fucking win. I've gotta get in there immediately. I've gotta fucking write immediately at 10:30 my time, so like 8:30 Neopets time. The next story, this part of the story is put out there. Deep rumbling from the ground. How will this story end? I fucking lock in. I wake up, I run to my fucking computer, I start writing like none other. I make a great story, alright? I make a great fucking conclusion. If you'll indulge me, I do want to read the conclusion that I wrote. It's a little self-indulgent, I know, I understand. Everyone's a little bitter about this, because here's the really fucking bitter thing about the storytelling competition. You can't re-enter it with your entries. The storytelling competition, that's it. You can't add it. You can't put these extra stories into something else. You can't use this for anything else. You write thousands of words of story, and it doesn't get chosen, so that's fucking it. That's it, buckaroo, fuck off. You ain't got shit. You're shit out of luck. You wrote so much, but it was for nothing. If anything, it's just good practice. Give you context, the previous one ended with, oh my god, the jars! We have to get the Dr. Frankenpet's characters out of their jars so that they can be free and stuff. Storyteller, you have to continue writing. The first story has to be restored. You have to do it because you have the power to do this because you're the storyteller. That's what's going on. As she's writing the first story and like the finishing up the final paragraphs and stuff. So, with that in mind, this is how I do my story. Light burst from beneath the boards of the floor as even the world itself began to peel away into strands of light. A glass jar fell from Alstaff's grip and faded to light before it hit the floor. That was Poya from story 363, Alstaff muttered, watching the light fade up and away. He trotted over to his friend and nervously watched the world shake around him. Storyteller, I think we need to move. I'm almost done, she replied hurriedly, Quill moving faster and faster. Alstaff knew the storyteller could not be bothered when she was like this, but regardless, Storyteller, there won't be much of a world to ride on. We need to escape. A board she was standing on burst into light motes, and she almost fell through, if it wasn't for Alstaff catching her. Alstaff, the storyteller peeped, I think we need to move. He sighed. Agreed, and hooked her arm and pulled her forward. The lab was barely recognizable now. Walls had dissolved into golden light that fell away to a blank whiteness beyond. They jumped up falling rocks that led them to an eerie familiar Neopets Central that too was fading to light. And still the storyteller wrote. Pavement gave way to woods, and woods gave way to an old abandoned building. There, Alstaff pointed ahead, but the storyteller didn't pay it any mind. That must be the house the first story was based on, a link between the real world and the world of story. No, it's just beginning, the storyteller mumbled, as she ran and wrote. What? Alstaff turned and gasped. The ground and the storyteller was standing on faded all at once, sending her plummeting into the blankness. Alstaff reached out a hand, but it was too late. She was falling far faster than he could hope to help. And yet, he could tell the storyteller still wrote. She clutched the small book close to her heart and echoed the words she wrote, pulling the treasured memories from her heart and pouring them onto the page, even as the world fell apart around her. "Let's look to the future," she dictated, scrolling onto the paper with such fervent energy that her quill left the page and caught the wind, pulling it out of her grip. Oh, and for context, what she's writing is literally lines from story number 1. Alright? So I think this is great so far. This is my fucking shit, right? "No!" she yelped, reaching for the quill as it fluttered away. "The story!" Her voice caught in her throat as she fell faster than her quill, tears falling up as the infinite empty world of story threatened to consume her. It was so quiet here. Unnatural. She was not supposed to be here and could feel it, but she wasn't exactly unwelcome. This was a place she knew, one she turned to without realizing, every time she put pen to page, the infinite paths of possibilities that could only happen in the world of storytelling. She closed her eyes tightly, holding the stories in her heart, and began to whisper them aloud, recalling the tales of stories that warmed her heart. Alfred from story 558, Gelda from story 704, even the Neopets from story 600. All of them a little ember of joy that burned in her like the fire they told stories around. Threads of light wove beside her, growing higher and building a massive tree of possibilities. The branching paths that every story could take, stretching higher and further than she could ever imagine. It built a beautiful tree, with lively golden lights that floated up and away from its ends. "By the leaves, floating in the breeze!" Allstaff called out, diving on a paper airplane with trails of golden light guiding his descent. "Storyteller, I've found you!" "Allstaff?" she gasped, grabbing his arm and climbing aboard his paper airplane. "How did you—" "It's plain simple. I'm a writer too, you know," he chuckled. "But this tree of light helped us immensely. Us artists have to support each other, right?" He turned and handed her quill back. "Come, storyteller. There's someone who is waiting to meet you." She smiled, a tear flowing down her face, and took her quill back and held it to her chest. The paper airplane flew back to the top on winds of gold, and if they looked carefully, little letters floated out, filling the ether with whispers of words. They reached the only solid land in the world left, the old house from story 1, and stepped onto its threshold. Alstaff patted the storyteller's shoulder and pointed behind her. When she turned, the sight took her breath away. Ethereal figures of sparkling gold stood quietly, stretching as far as the eye could see. She instantly recognized all of them, as each character from each story looked just as she imagined in her heart. They all began waving and cheering, or simply smiling. The storyteller was taken aback, her paw to her mouth, trying her best to hold back her tears as she didn't want to stop seeing this wonderful moment before her. As she wiped her tears away, a figure of light appeared before her, a small side bunny with large, hopeful eyes. "Sarah," the storyteller smiled. She knelt down and opened her arms, and Sarah ran up and embraced her. All at once she felt all the warmth and all the joy and all the love that each and every character had ever felt. All the memories of joyous storytellings around the campfire came to her all at once, and all future possibilities stretched before her. It didn't last long. It didn't need to. It lived in her heart. Tears were streaming down her face, and she shakily held up the book in her paw, overcome with emotion. Sarah reached out and held the storyteller's paw, steadying her. "Thank you," the storyteller croaked and nodded. She took out her quill and began the final words. As she finished, a golden light encompassed the book. A page titled Story 1000 fluttered into place, and with that, it burst into a pillar of light and showered the world in motes of like glittering stars. They stepped back into the house, passing the threshold and waving goodbye to all the characters as their forms disappeared and filled the world with a soft, golden glow. No goodbyes were needed, as they knew the stories would never leave them as long as they kept them in their hearts. Alstaff and the storyteller turned to each other and smiled, sharing Did I misspell something here at the very end? Yeah, I did. I should have been sharing one of the truest smiles they had ever seen on each other's faces. And that's how it ends. Because that's how story 1 ends. Story 1 ends with everyone looking at each other and going, oh, everyone's had the truest smiles on each other's faces. And I'm like, oh, this is such a poetic, cute little ending. This is perfect. This is great. Oh, this is fucking fantastic. I'm riding goddamn fire here. And what is chosen instead? This was a decision on the judge's part. I still do not hold any contempt for the person who won at the end because, to be honest, their entry is like a little bit more grounded. You heard what I was like, like flowery language I was using, right? Very fantastical, very like, oh, they're in their hearts, oh, it's all this stuff, and I was like, I was right on fucking fire, but at the same time, it is kind of, out there. They don't really like go into like, fixing story number 1. I don't really go into like what story 1000 was supposed to be. I don't really like end on a solid conclusion. I end on a very flowery, metaphorical conclusion that requires people to like, really think about it and go, oh, okay, contemplatively, yeah, it mirrors the first story. That's kind of cute. This one's, more realistic in that sort of way, right? Where it's, this story here is just like, okay, and then they go here, and then they go to the place, and story 2 is here and all that jazz. This story, and stories and stuff. Hey, we got the story is told. The Southern's one. It's like, like this. The final one here is about like the storyteller not knowing how to end it, and I feel like that's a great like parallel to this whole fucking thing. This whole goddamn mess of a kitchen where everyone's trying to throw in all their ingredients into the big old soup here. Nobody knows how to fucking end this thing because there's way too many threads going on because there hasn't ever been a competition that has this many. It's just... there hasn't been a competition that has 3 weeks of story to it. And not only that, the judge is choosing like very grounded stories that are just like, okay, we just need meat and potatoes, baby. We just need meat and potatoes. We don't need flowery language. We don't need some fruity shit. We just need meat and potatoes, just the core chunk of the story, and we just like keep going with it. Cause that's just, I don't know, it just keeps them like from like going insane because they got other shit to do with their life. They're sick. Like literally like medically sick. It's just sad, right? You put all this effort in and get nothing out of it. But that is the nature of the contest. So it's not that I have too much beef about such a thing. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too bitter. I'm just like, it just kind of sucks that I didn't win. And so, you guys have been hearing me complain about the storytelling competition for like, the past 3 weeks or so because I would enter in stuff and I'd be like, losing my mind and rambling about how the storytelling competition is like making me lose my mind, and I've just been thinking about it for so much because I wanted to win so bad. It's story number 1000. Oh, I could have gotten this cool item that I wouldn't even know what to do with. I could have won. Oh, I could have won. It could have been great. And now I'm freed. And now I don't have to look at the storytelling competition every morning and go, oh fuck, I didn't win. Now I don't have to live with that like anxiety. And then something really fucking stupid happened. You guys remember me telling you guys that the storytelling competition had a new avatar associated with it. And we didn't know if it was going to, continue on with other, the weeks in the future and such. Let me show you something. Here's the news. Let me read this to you. The most recent storytelling contest will be concluding today. Congrats to all the current winners. It already concluded, by the way, by the time this news thing came out. Great. If you're a winner this round, your storytelling avatar has been swapped out for a special 1000th edition avatar. Moving forward, we'll be giving out the standard storytelling avatar every 5 rounds. Everyone is fucking pissed. You can't do that. This is unprecedented. You need to understand. 16 people have this exclusive avatar. And everyone is upset about this, including the winners. 16 people, there was 15 winners. One of them was a collab, and that person who was a part of that collab did get that avatar. So 16 people got this exclusive avatar. This has never happened on Neopets. On the 25 years of Neopets, well, there was one time. The only other avatar this, happened for was this, really old plot where you had to save the island fairy from a volcano, and if you were one of the first 100 people to save the island fairy, I think her name's Judoria or something. I'm not really sure. There's a JH in there and U or something. I'm terrible with names. Don't look at me. You got this avatar. So 100 people have that avatar. Surely there's rare avatars on the site. Nope, not even the one that's you have to have the super rare 5 billion Neopoint item, the super attack P. That one, you can just lend that item out, and people get that avatar. People have that avatar. A lot of people have that avatar. More than 100 people have that avatar. There has never been an avatar this exclusive. 16 people on the site have this avatar. There are people, you gotta understand, there are people on this site who their whole goal is to get every single avatar on the site. And every single avatar on the site is possible to get, except for some very few retired ones that they probably already have a lot of already because they're really old and they've been on the site for many, many, many years. People lose their shit. It's bad. It's really fucking bad. People are upset because that's not only is this an exclusive avatar for the 16 winners. We don't know if this is an avatar that blocks them out from getting the other avatar, just the normal storytelling competition avatar. And by the way, the avatar doesn't look great. What we have here is the storytelling competition normal avatar. This is what they've been getting for these past 3 weeks, and we had no idea if anybody else was going to get the chance to get this avatar. That's not uncommon these days. It's kind of weird that we didn't have a storytelling competition avatar before. But what people are upset about is the fact that, the storytelling competition only has one winner a day. And when we're talking about other creative storytelling, not storytelling, I keep saying storytelling because it's just on the brain. Other creative contests, there's multiple winners every time that it happens. I told you about the art gallery. There isn't an art gallery avatar, but there's a lot of winners every single day for it. Well, on average, if you average it out throughout the week. There's a lot of winners for the Neopoint Times. There's a lot more winners and a lot more chances to win for the poetry competition. So those make a little bit more sense, and people aren't as upset if there's an avatar for that. It keeps people invested in the site and keep trying to win and stuff. But for the storytelling competition, you've seen how crazy the competition is. You have to get in early. You have to get it in there, right then and there. You have to write it then and there, and you can't use that writing for anything else. It's rough. It's brutal. And it's one a day. You get one chance a day. And people are going, oh, now we got an avatar for this? Oh god, that's gonna be bad. But it's every 5? So that's gonna be even worse. For these storytelling things, it's just gonna put a lot of work on Adler. For some people who just want to win the storytelling competition, they're just gonna avoid every 5th story. Because everyone else who wants an avatar, because like I said, avatars are huge on this site. People want avatars like they want blood and they're a vampire. They're hungry for this shit. So it's just going to be chaos every 5th storytelling competition. There's only 50 more people who are going to get that storytelling competition every year. Only 50 more people are going to get that storytelling competition avatar. And maybe if Neopets survives into the long future, that'll add up over time. But that's still an abysmal amount. Do you understand? That's abysmal. that's gonna be really bad. A lot of people are gonna be chomping at the bit for this. But that's not the worst thing. They released this avatar, Storytelling 1000s, awarded to the 16 winners of Storytelling number 1000. And it's the same avatar with a number 1000 above it. That's it. That's what they get. Whose decision was this? Who on TNT decided that there would be a 1000 storytelling avatar? This is unprecedented. There's a 1000 like Neopoint Times avatar, but you can get that one easily by just looking at the fucking thousandths like entry, the fucking thousandths like Neopoint Times thing. Everyone got that avatar because it was a celebration of the fact that there was 1,000 of them. And so what do they do this time when there's another thousandths creative competition? They make an exclusive avatar? When I say everyone's pissed, everyone is pissed. There is not a single person that I've seen that was like, oh, this is an okay idea. I don't know why everyone's freaking out so much. Avatars aren't that big of a deal. No one has said that because everyone cares so much about avatars on this site. Everyone's like, why is this like this? Everyone's arguing and going, this isn't how should be. If there's gonna be a 1,000th celebration, it should be something for everyone to share on the site. Do you understand? This was so mismanaged. Not only was the story just kind of like really fucking, the fucking avatar, man. I can't get over it. 16 people. Way to alienate your entire player base in like 2 seconds flat. Like, I personally don't care too much about avatars. If this was like an exclusivity thing where only the people who won Storytelling's 1000 get this avatar and they cannot get the other avatar, the other storytelling avatar, I'd be fine with that. I'd be like, okay, well, that's great. I mean, they won number 1000. I hate them. I mean, I don't, but I hate them. But okay, great. Okay, they get an exclusive avatar. This seems really disheartening for people who tried their best during the storytelling competition, but it's not the end of the world. If this gives people one extra avatar over other people, there's blood in the water. No, if they can win the other storytelling competition, because we don't know, because there hasn't been number 5 yet. We don't know if they have both. We don't know if they have a chance to get both. There's gonna be blood. Do you understand? Like, I've tried to really like hammer home how ridiculous this whole debacle has been from just the very beginning, from the fact that there's only one judge able to figure out like, you know, what story shall we continue with, and the story being the story that it is. I'm disheartened. And not only that, the fucking item that you get for getting into a centennial storytelling competition is worth 1 billion Neopoints. And we're not gonna see another one for another 4 fucking years. And this is what I've been stressing out about for the past, like, 3 weeks. Thank God it's over, but like, when I was, like, stressing out about this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna, like, you know, ramble on about this. I think it'd be a funny little clip or something. That was, like, before this avatar shit happened. So, what do we do from here, right? This storytelling competition is over. I may enter some in the future or something when, like, settles down, because I do like doing the storytelling competition. It is really fun to, like, you know, come up with cute little stories and stuff. I'm like, oh, I love stories, I love toys. You guys know I love toys. But maybe give myself a little bit of a break, right? But it's the avatar that everyone's worried about. When I'm hearing people complain about the storytelling competition on the Neo boards and on the Discord and stuff, it's all about this avatar. It's contentious. And no one wanted this avatar, like, to be exclusive. And now TNT's, like, in a really fucking rough spot because, like, now they have this subpar avatar compared to the other avatar, right? And now it's like, okay, it's number 1000. Great. It's just got 1,000 above it. If they release it to the public, to have everybody have it, either to have like the storyteller, collectible card in their inventory, or just visiting story number 1000. That means that people have this avatar that looks extremely similar to the other storytelling avatar, which would be like, of less value, even though you can't buy or sell avatars, less clout for it. Because this one would be harder to get at that point. Like, I have no pony in this race. If they do an exclusive, like, mutually exclusive sort of scenario here, where storytelling number 1000 cannot be given to somebody who has normal storytelling avatar, and if somebody has the storytelling 1000 avatar, they can't get the normal storytelling avatar. That's fine by me, because that doesn't increase the number of avatars on the site that, like, people can get. You either get one or the other. You still have the chance to get this other new avatar. So it gives, collectors a chance to, like, complete their collection. Like, number-wise. But they can't, like, get, like, all of them, right? There's, like, only one other, like, mutually exclusive avatar on the site, and it's still retired. Because the fucking Defenders of Neopia is, like, down still, and that's, like, really annoying, right? But, I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna change anything. Because walk with me through this scenario, right? If they change up the storytelling competition here, this avatar one, or instead of like 50 people, wait, is it 50? It's 50. If 50 people throughout the entire year win this one, and they change it up or something, and make it so that every single storytelling competition could get a winner, it still doesn't change the fact that it's 5,500 winners for the storytelling competition so far. A rough estimate, because some of them are double-weeked in between all that. But, 5,500, extremely roughly, winners for the storytelling competition. That's still a really fucking rare avatar, then. If you were to retroactively give all those winners an avatar, that's still really fucking rare, because there's a lot of double winners as well. There's a lot of regulars who have figured out, like, the cadence of what they need to do for a story, and the judge goes, okay, this is a great story because this fits the idea of a story in my head, I'm gonna choose this one. Oops, turns out it's one of the regulars because they just know what to do for a storytelling competition. So these people have, like, hundreds of storytelling wins. So, like, way less than 5,500 unique winners, right? I will admit, I have won a couple of storytelling competitions. This wasn't my first win. I've won a couple. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the storytelling competition. I've fought in the ring, in the arena. Like, on paper, this all makes sense, right? Oh, we'll do some exclusive avatar making. Oh, this would be great for the, Neopets. Oh, we'll drive engagement for the storytelling competition. The monkey's paw curls. You did something really fucking goofy here, folks. Here we are. Fun reminder. Flex your writing skills over the storytelling competition. The exciting story needs an ending, and we all need answers as to what's going to happen next. This is TNT saying, please enter in the storytelling competition more. Well, they got their wish. Now everyone's going to want to enter in the storytelling competition. I want to know the statistics of, like, how many was it before and how many is it now? Because it's going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be a lot of work on Adler's part, and not only that, it's just... no one's going to be able to win the fucking storytelling competition now! It's going to be ridiculous. That's Neopets for you. It's got a lot of really passionate people who really care about the site, and just... people really like... making stuff for this place. And people like to, make little stories for it. They go to the Neopian Times, they're inspired. There's a lot of fan fiction for Neopets. I feel like the heart of Neopets is not only collecting and customizing, but the third pillar, creativity. I think a lot of people, like me, go to Neopets to create things. Create stories, make art, And what TNT has done here for the storytelling competition has set a very weird precedent. Not only for, like, the contest going into the future, but for avatars. For these things that people use just to, like, designate, oh, check it out, I did this cool thing on the side, woo, I've got clout, and, like, talk to other people on the Neo boards with this cute little avatar. Are there gonna be more extremely exclusive avatars going forward? That's gonna ruin, like, the avatar collecting, like, competitions and stuff. People, I cannot stress it enough. People really fucking care about their avatars here. I don't understand it, but if it matters to somebody, then it matters to somebody. Don't know what to fucking tell you. It's what drives people to, like, continue to, like, collect. Because some of the avatars are, like, really expensive. Like, stamps and stuff. You have to collect a whole bunch of stamps, and some of them are worth, like, 100 million Neopoints and all that jazz. And if you have all of them in your stamp album, yeah, you get an avatar. This is what people, like, want to keep, like, you know, playing the site for. They're like, alright, kind of do my dailies so that one day in the future I'll get this really rare thing. It's a badge of pride, you know? It keeps people invested into the site. But if you add a super exclusive avatar, you risk alienating this fan base that really fucking enjoys collecting things. If you tell somebody who is a collector that you can't have it all, they're going to, like, leave. They're not gonna want to engage with your thing. And that's rough. And for just, like, a general conclusion, I'm not really certain I really enjoy where the site has, like, veered towards. Like, there's so much NC Mall stuff. Whenever you see one of these capsule things on the news, that's NC Mall stuff. That's paid, real-life currency for you to get these things. Like, oh, it's Mohawk Day, look at all these cute little colors and stuff for the new Mohawk, it's really cute. And yeah, these are all, like, Neopets items. And then there's NC Mall stuff. And then, oh, look at this cute little gallery spotlight, look at all this art that some people have done. And why is that image broken? What the hell? Oh, it's Tyranian Victory Day! Look at all this cute stuff we've gone for the site. This is all Neopoints that you can buy with in-game currency. You don't have to pay for this with, like, mall. There it is. There's the NC Mall stuff. There's the stuff that you have to pay money for. There's all the stuff that you pay money for. There's all the stuff that you pay money for. It's... You understand? It's like half NC Mall, half normal stuff. Normal Neopets stuff. They're pushing it so much, so I don't know if I really like the direction that Neopets is going towards these days. It's rough, you know? It's a lot of... Oh, okay, we're just gonna give you the bare fucking minimum, woohoo! It feels weird. It feels like Neopets is becoming just, like, phoned in. They're just, like, they're just making shit. They're just like, okay, time to just hit the plot beats that we expect for people to go cheering and clapping for. Oh, but make sure to buy NC Mall things! It's like the heart of Neopets is, like, faded over time. People are tired. People are, you know... I don't know if Neopets is, like, all that profitable anymore. I don't think it's gonna die anytime soon. This storytelling competition thing, it's just indicative of, like, the greater issues of Neopets, like, as a whole. I'm not being alarmist here. I don't think the site's gonna die. It's gonna have to take, like, an entire data center exploding into 1 million pieces for it to go away forever. We're gonna be stuck with Neopets in our hearts. It lives in our hearts for all time. You know? Much like story number 1. Would it be nice if there was more investment in the things that I care about? And I know that seems a little bit selfish. Because I'm just one person, and maybe I'm not, like, the most active user on Neopets, and maybe I'm not the most rich user on Neopets. I'm still gonna be going to the site. I'm still- I still like, you know, goofing around, doing my little dailies, trying to get the rare items and stuff, just to, you know, collect them because it's fun. But I'll always think of this. I'll always be thinking of storytelling competition number 1000. It is I, Zeus! How we need more, like, people on TNT who care about, like, the creative stuff. How there needs to be, like, more people on their team. How they need to be paid more. Because if it's just Adler, if they're sick, then there needs to be somebody else who can also help them with their work. If there's one person at your job who's got a lot of responsibilities, then that's not a good, well-managed job. It's rough, buddy. They need more help. And not only that, I'd love to see something a little bit grander for the storytelling competition, right? 1,000 stories. And maybe they're not all that great. That's fine. I don't expect greatness from, you know, a bunch of cooks in a kitchen throwing ingredients at the wall and seeing what splatters. But I was expecting something a little bit grander than, like, a 3-week competition where the winners, only the winners, get the cool celebration. Could have been the people who entered. It could have been the people, you know, who just look at the page, who have ever entered in the storytelling competition. They could just have not done this avatar. Baffling game development decision on their part. I don't think anyone liked it. I don't think it was a good idea at all. Like, I love creativity. I think you guys know this by now. I love encouraging people to create things. It's important to me that people, like, continue to create things and express themselves and, like, make this world a brighter, more beautiful place with, like, the ideas that they have and the passion that they have for their ideas with whatever they're creating. I want to encourage that. And when I see something like this going on that, like, is pretty much actively discouraging people, it's just really sad. I thought I did my best. I made plenty of mistakes. I was too verbose, too wordy, too flowery, and also I was entering in my entries way too late. And then I just didn't win. I just didn't fucking win. That's just the end result there. Fucking sucks, but that's the beef. I want this site to continue to be a source of creative energy for a lot of people. I want people to continue to come to the site and, you know, make things. Just make things. Just make whatever the fuck that their heart is, like, demanding of them. Makes the world a better place. If you were also a person who joined in the storytelling competition this round and didn't win, I encourage you to continue writing. I don't think anyone who lost the storytelling competition this round is a bad storyteller. I think there was a lot of circumstance to this storytelling competition that required the winners to be, you know, both fast at writing and also knowing basically what the judge wants, which means, like, a very grounded story that's not crazy off the walls. Hey man, maybe that's not your story writing style, but that isn't a reflection of how good you are at story writing. Shouldn't take it, like, personally. I promise you, you're good at writing, alright? Random person listening in on this in the future, keep writing, alright? Don't give up. I mean that, like, with all my heart. Never ever give up when it comes to creative works. You might make something really good. And even if you don't make something good, you wrote from your heart and you expressed yourself, and that's way more important. Write for yourself. Don't write for the storytelling competition. Write for your own enjoyment. Yeah, I'm never gonna be able to use any of these, like, little snippets of story that continued on in the storytelling competition. I'm never gonna be able to use these ever again. I had fun. I really did have fun. It is fun to, like, wake up and go, oh, I'm gonna write a cool little story here. It's a little frustrating, but that's part of the thing. You gotta have a little bit of frustration to have, like, the challenge be worth it. It's fun that way. But Damn, is it fucking disappointing that I didn't fucking win. I tried my goddamn hardest there, you guys. I fucking tried every goddamn day of my whole fucking life. There was like server maintenance stuff issues too. I was trying to, do my fucking best. I was giving fucking gold all this time. God, I tried my goddamn diddly dang hardest every single time I was making bangers. I was like weaving the tale, going into all these crazy directions, and yet still grounded in my own way because I thought I was doing like a good job keeping the story grounded. But no, apparently I wasn't. Okay, fine. I guess we're not gonna have the storyteller fall to the blankness of the story world and then find her heart that was full of story the whole time and have it explode and, bring her back to the world of, the world of the Neopets world. But no, of course not. Of course I didn't win. It's fine. I'm not bitter at all. I'm not finding this bitter. I'm not bitter at all. I'm not bitter about nothing in my entire fucking life. I hold no grudges. I'm not a grudge-holding person. Do I fucking look like a goddamn person who holds grudges? The answer's no. Hi, everybody. It gets worse. Actually, no, get out of here. Good news. Things have gotten better. It's like 2 weeks since I recorded that, last thing where I was talking about bad news. This is like an ongoing, evolving story, so I feel like I'm breaking news every 2 seconds. However, I think they're not gonna do anything this time. Which is kind of a bad thing. Good and bad news. They released the storytelling avatar, number 1000 storytelling avatar thing. They released that to the public. You just go to the storytelling number 1000 and everyone gets it and it's like, yay, celebration, yippee yay. However, the people who won that storytelling competition have not gotten the storyteller card TCG, the 1.5 billion Neopoint item. God! They didn't even get, the normal the storytelling avatar from that either, which is, small fucking news. That doesn't even fucking matter. People are still annoyed. People still want that, exclusive cool item and stuff, The thing is, in the past 2 weeks since I have, recorded that previous bad news and the current good news, and the previous bad news was, they weren't gonna release the storytelling 1000 avatar. They thought that was gonna be that was gonna be the prize, which absolutely baffling. However, I'm leaving most of the stuff unedited because it is kind of an interesting look into the development has changed over time. And it's good that the developers, TNT, have been listening to the public and the ambassadors, because, yeah, for a little bit there, it really did seem like TNT was going to be very obstinate on this, and they weren't going to, change their mind. They're gonna be like, no, this exclusive avatar, this is all you get. This is all you get. God, no. Thankfully, it wasn't. However, much to be seen if they're gonna, release this exclusive storytelling card. 1.5 billion Neopoint item. And the thing is, the whole big thing about this video is, I've been stressing about this really, really rare item, and going, oh man, what if I get it? Ooh, what if I get it? Ooh, what am I gonna do with it? I have no idea. And yet I still desire it, And yet I still want. And yet the greed still haunts me. So funny story, I now know what I would have done if I got a 1 billion Neopoint item, because I got a 1 billion Neopoint item. I was entering in more creative contests, and lo and behold, I won one of them and got a rare item. I won't say which one it was. You'll shine it. I got a billion Neopoint item. I got one. Some people were putting up for 2 billion. You know what I did with it? I sold it. You know what I sold it for? 150 million! I think I need to go into detail in a whole different video. I may need to do an entire video on just like the Neopets economy, because in the past 2 weeks, I have been doing a little bit of research into the history of all these items and what could possibly be causing this inflation. I actually still don't know what the cause of the inflation is. I have some kind of crazy theories. So look forward to that funny little video in the future. I will definitely have to write up a beautiful little rant. And also, if you know anything about the Neopets economy, please message me, because I have been asking a lot of people, and no one really knows what the fuck is going on. So,
any hints and advice would be very helpful.
I thank my patrons for all their continued support. Chris, Veritizan, Bree, The Rolling Thunder, and Riot. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. And also, if you like this video and you enjoy my content, please go ahead and take a look at my other stuff. I'm sure you will also enjoy those things. And possibly maybe leave comments, subscribe, and or comment, subscribe, and like any of those in that order. I'm gonna leave you guys with the original conclusion to the video, which was me telling my greatest conclusion to the storytelling competition entry that I tried. I didn't put it in. Oh god. But it was the greatest story that it could ever been concluded with. Deep from the ground arose a car. Is that a car? Alsoph wondered. A legendary car from story 1? Yes, there was a car in story 1, the storyteller nodded. I don't think I've ever seen one in Neopia. But this fictional mechanical thing exists here in the world of story. I'm gonna drive it! Alstaff grinned a toothy poogle grin, hopping into the front seat and pressing all the buttons. Do you even know how to drive? The storyteller began to ask before the car lurched forward, bumping into her and launching her 50 feet into the sky as she exploded to a million pieces. The end.